Hello guys, welcome to the £3.30 podcast. I'm your host Asha.
Shut up about host.
It's Asha,
Reem
and Sana.
How you guys doing?
Posted in the UBs.
All good, man.
And Sana posted in Doha.
Oucheaa.
Very creepy.
Not gonna lie, we've been so excited to launch this podcast, so we're actually feeling so blessed to finally do it. To obviously bring our voices to the waves.
Why does she chat so much breeze? Yeah. No, carry on.
It's been a long
breezing.
time coming,
I'm just
man.
doing the intro because otherwise we'll all be sat here burping big boys. Like,
Go on.
Big up, big boys.
Big up big boys. You don't know, sponsor us. So essentially we wanted to launch our podcast because we got bare shit to talk about and we want you guys to listen, low key. Like, I know, but I feel like we talk sense. Like, we all come from different backgrounds and have different experiences. No, we do. We all have different experiences. We come from different things. So we have different perspectives on things.
On things. That's all I have to say. To echo that, on things.
Yeah, I just want to kick this off by saying I'm actually so sorry, but who is Jay Huss?
No, Sana.
What?
Who is
he? You need to kick her off. Eject her.
No.
Listen,
Sana, firstly,
we're only a
you
few
still
minutes
need a
in, you
visa
need
to
to
get into the
drop off.
country, so you can relax. That's number one.
You need to relax your bean, all right? Listen. How can you not know Jay Huss?
I know, it's a joke.
What were
And
you
she's
doing last
lying.
summer?
No, Sana, she loves to be controversial, yeah? Because we've sat in my car and I've played so many Jay Huss tunes.
She's
to her.
doing it for the views,
cruising,
innit?
And she's heard them all and she still acts like she doesn't know who he is. Just because she wants to be contro.
Okay. The songs that I've briefly heard but not actually actively searched for to listen to, yeah,
Go on.
Are Buff Daddy. Until the other day when I was like, who's
Buff
Jay Huss?
Daddy?
Why is everyone talking about him? Even Drake knows him,
Why are
fam,
you
yeah?
mixing the mic?
Because I like to. I'm doing up ASMR.
Go on.
Even Drake knows who he is, and I was like,
Wow.
wow, who's Jay Huss? So obviously when I googled it and like listened to his music, I was like, okay, cool, I know Buff Daddy, I've heard of it. I've heard of what's that one song called again? Left in a okay.
Did you do what
See What I
I done
Done.
came in a black
See What I Done, yeah. So I've heard of that song, but really, not gonna lie, I just don't know who he is. I
But
don't
you barely
really see
listen
that.
to music. It doesn't count.
But what's the hype though? Why is it so special?
What do
Why
you
is
mean? He's
because
so
he's
talented.
sick. He is the anthem of the summer. Every summer.
Cool,
without
but
fail.
when I listened to his music, it was like the lyricism was just dead.
How
You're
dare
dead.
you?
Sorry,
Listen,
claps.
bring up a song that's better than that, and I'll listen to your views.
I don't know any songs. All I know is Quran.
Oh, shut up. She's just always
Wow.
chatting breeze. Every day.
Wow.
Every day.
I remember ages ago. No,
No,
hold on,
you
wait.
sang word for word Asha the other day. Word for word. That's a lie. Word for word, you sang a tune the other day, and I said, "Why do you know that?" You're like, "Yeah, because it was from back in the days, innit? When I was like, you know, in year 11."
This
and
wasn't
that."
Doha as
No,
well.
no,
I remember
listen.
this. I can confirm this happened.
Sana, listen, yeah. So the first time I ever said to Sana, sing for me, yeah, because she was like proper hyping it.
No, don't
I can
even.
sing,
This is
I
a
can
lie.
sing, I
This is a
can
lie.
sing.
Well done,
So I was like, okay,
before
cool,
she
cool,
starts.
Sana, sing, yeah. Why is Auntie
You're a
raising her
liar.
fingers behind her ears, yeah, doing up adhan? I was like, eh?
Wow. Are
You did the
really
adhan.
gonna
I
lie
said
like
you to
that?
sing,
Yeah?
and you did the adhan.
Are you really gonna lie? Are you really gonna lie like that?
Allahu Akbar.
Anyway,
doing up Alicia Keys. Like,
let's actually talk about something of a bit more, you know,
Substance.
substance for people that don't actually care about our dynamics as a group.
basically, Reem was basically asking, why do you think it is that so many girls are taking off their hijab recently?
Is this what you guys were talking about for an hour?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Why? Do you not rate us?
No, No ratings ratings whatsoever.
Why are so many girls taking off their hijab? I think it's just a new, and this is probably controversial, but it's just a new age of enlightenment that we're seeing on social media, where people are like taking ownership and taking agency over themselves and their beliefs, and they're just not going with the flow anymore.
So why haven't you taken off your hijab and you still got your agency and you still know what your beliefs are?
Because I don't feel like taking it off will add anything to my life. I don't need to take it off. I think most people take it off because they are dealing with something or struggling with self-image or something, and I don't feel like I have that battle.
And why do you think that is? Because when I was talking to Reem about this before, I was saying how exactly what you were basically saying, but I feel like okay, so I started wearing the hijab when I was 17, right? And when I started wearing that, for me, it was more of like a spiritual thing. Like I wanted to be more in connection with like God and all the rest of it. But, and to be honest with you, I really wasn't on social media. I never had Instagram at that point. All I had was Twitter, right? And I deleted Facebook years ago.
How old were you?
I was 17.
Oh, okay.
So it's not even been 10 years of me wearing the hijab, right? But I can see why now it would be something that I'd want to take off. Because because I can
like
see...
as in if you were 17 now?
Yeah. If I was 17 now, I wouldn't wear it.
Really?
Yeah.
What makes you say
like
that?
in this day and age with social media and the rest of it? Because there's so much pressure to be a certain way and to act a certain way. We've seen it before. We've seen it in the past. Whenever somebody... When there is a Muslim in the media or in the public eye, they're held to a certain standard if they're a woman. Right? If it's a man, no one really gives a shit. No one really expects you to kind of be like this, you know, the face of Islam. Whereas if you see a woman who's covered and she's wearing a hijab, you're automatically expected to act in a certain way. And I feel like culture, which is what Reem was saying, comes into it to a certain degree. And I don't know. Do you want to take it away?
So hold on. The reason why you would not wear it as a 17-year-old today is because you don't want to be like held accountable for your actions. Is that what you're saying?
No.
As in you don't want to be the face of Islam today and you don't want anyone to come with that.
Shamba kind of started off, when we were talking about it this morning, she was saying that she thinks it's the pressures of everything. Because what you said basically combined both of our points very articulately. Okay. So she said about the pressures, and she'll say it a lot better than I will. And I was talking a little bit about the social media stuff because I hate having to be that person that brings everything down to social media, but I think it does have an impact a lot more than we think.
We're on social media every single day of our lives.
But so that's what I was saying about the social media. But in terms of pressure and in terms of having to portray something, and like you're always like, it's true. People will look at me differently for doing something than they will for a hijabi doing it. Like me and a hijabi will wear the same outfit, and it will look modest on me and not modest on a hijabi just because of the fact that it's not unusual to see someone without wearing hijab, you know, covering up or whatever, but you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
So your thing about pressure was...
Yeah, I'm just saying, for example, right? Like me now, alhamdulillah, I don't have any sort of desire to do anything that's outside of my religion. Yeah. So for example, like clubbing or going out drinking or whatever it is, right? I've got no desire to dress a certain way, to dress and wear like short skirts, blah, blah, blah. But I can imagine there are probably some people who probably wear the hijab to stop them from doing those things or to kind of try to suppress those desires, right? So I feel like because I have no desire to go into that anyway, it's not really an issue for me. So alhamdulillah, I will never take off my hijab or feel like I need to take off my hijab to experience anything else.
I don't think I mean, obviously that's not what you're saying, but I don't think the people that are taking off the hijab are doing so because they want to go clubbing or because they want to have a drink. Or
no, it's the freedom to be able to do as they please without having judgment.
Why does Sana always sound so savage?
Sana's always such a... This just reminds me of that time in the car in Doha, when we're discussing eyebrows.
It's not as simple as just because they want to go clubbing or have a drink.
Because she's not getting it. Do you know what I mean? They're always taking it one step too far.
Sorry, what was your point, Sana?
I lost it now.
No, you said it's not as simple. Child. It's not as simple as because they want to go clubbing or have a drink, is what you said. I think what you were gonna say.
I think a lot of it is to do with girls having to like I said, take back ownership of their life.
And that's what I've been saying as well.
Whether we like it or not. Listen, whether we like it or not, a lot of girls were. Even if you're not forced to wear it, there was some sort of pressure to wear it at a young age from family members, from society, from people that you're chilling with and stuff like that. So I'm not saying that everyone was forced to wear it, but there were those pressures there that pushed you towards it. And now that they've grown up and progressed or not progressed, as in seen life in a different way, and they're seeing everyone else like kind of take ownership, then they're more inclined to do so.
To be fair, Shambak said that this morning. She said that people are having a lot more freedom and stuff to do what they want to do. Like it's not like everyone's like 16 anymore, where you're having like your parents run everything for you or whatever.
And to be fair, I said that just now as well. But okay, cool.
Anyway, so bottom line is we think it's about pressure. We think it's something to do with social media.
Yeah, give a little bit, guys. Like, just let people just
and ownership.
Let people just do what they do. And if you feel like you genuinely want to give someone advice and it's sincere, then move in a way that's sincere. Wallahi, like don't feel like you need to bash someone. Listen, I'm gonna just say it. I don't care. Yeah, I don't care. I'm gonna just say it. I don't think hijab is that deep.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
It's not even one of the 5 pillars of Islam. Like, it's obligatory, it's mandatory.
You know what? I'm still surprised that you are saying this.
Why?
Me too. I'm not gonna lie, B.
I've always said this.
This is nah. You have not. This is something I would say. And
Maybe I'm
Yeah,
about to
for
take
real.
off my hijab.
Every time I link her, I get a bit shook. She's gonna comment on my hair.
Maybe I'm gonna take off my hijab and just warm you guys up.
Wow.
I'm not gonna do that. But here's my point. I don't think it's that big of a deal for people to be losing their shit over. Like, it's just not. It's not that deep. Like, and even if it was, it's none of your business. Like, if you advise someone sincerely, keep it moving. You've done your job. You won't be asked about it on Yom Al-Qiyam. Done.
Why is it that these guys are so obsessed by how women are? Like how women look, the appearance, the physicality of Islam. Do you remember this? And I was saying that it's so funny. They're so fast to make judgments on the physical, and they're not watching anything else. Like, they're not thinking about how, like, the manners of their brothers, the way that, like, people, you present yourself as a Muslim, and not in terms of physicality. Like, it's so shallow. It's the most shallow thing, and it's like people are so caught up and obsessed with it. It's actually really shameful.
Yeah.
But anyway, I feel like we agree on this, and people who don't can just stop listening now, because we're actually not gonna get along.
I think if people put as much energy as they do in criticizing a woman's outfit and how she looks and blah 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 into mental health in Islam and in the Muslim community, into sexual assault within, like, the masjid and shit like that, we would have all our problems sorted out. But you want to talk about what Mariam's got on her trousers, or like,
Nah, it's the easiest thing to talk about on her trousers. Right?
Let me start again. Like, let's cut. But you want to talk about what Mariam's wearing? Like, just relax. It's not that deep. It doesn't make. It's not. It's not. Though, is it? We would have so much more time to focus on the things that genuinely affect our community.
Shamak's really hosting, boy. Yeah. Yeah, go on.
But yeah, that's what I wanted to say. We would have so much more time to focus on the things that genuinely affect our community if we didn't spend too much time focusing on what women wear. Make Islam, firstly, look appealing. Reem was saying today, sorry Sana to cut you off, but Reem was saying today how some of the Muslim boys that she works with feel like they can't really approach other like sort of leaders, right, in our community, Muslim leaders in our community, because they don't feel like they're good enough.
Like shuyukh, Muslim leaders, like these guys that are running Masjid. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not a joke. Like, that's frightening.
Like, you don't even feel comfortable. Like, you don't feel like you can go to your local masjid and speak to your imam about things that you're personally going through and asking for advice about certain things. So instead you go and do nonsense. Why is that? Why is our youth not feeling comfortable within their own religion?
That's true, though. You know, I've never thought about it, but I've never considered even going to the local sheikh or imam to discuss anything.
Yeah. What were you saying, Sana?
Just the youth. No, I was just going to say that hijab is the easiest thing to talk about. These guys have no substance, so that's all they fall back on. There's nothing else they can talk about.
Yeah, and
that was it. I feel like I slept back waiting for you to take the wheel.
No, but you're right. It isn't just the youths about the shuyukh and stuff. It's like daunting for so many people, especially if people haven't been really raised in it or whatever. Like, for so many people here, I don't know, for like me, for instance, my family didn't, not in like a bad way, but they just never took me to any masajid. It wasn't a thing. Is masajid the right word for plurals of masjid? Yeah. Yeah, they just never took me. And it wasn't because they didn't want to, it's because they had cultural issues with people. You know, them ones where it's all run by culture. Like, you don't really have mixed masjids like that. You've got a Somali masjid, you've got an Arab masjid, you've got one that's open to converts. Do you know what I mean? It's like, other than Rumi's Cave, big up Rumi's Cave, it's not really a masjid, but it basically, that is somewhere that I will go to and think, yeah, there's people that I could talk to and a welcoming community where you never feel like you are looked down upon or anything like that, and you're getting knowledge as well. Like, it's not a joke. Like, when you step in there, it's not like anything false. It's real. It's proper. Love that place.
That's because the masjid is wasted on believers.
Oh,
sorry.
Damn, girl.
The whole point of a masjid is for people to come in and like and worship, and it's meant to be open, and it's meant to be appealing, and it's meant to be. A masjid is designed for sinners. It is. That's the whole point of it. It's meant to be open for, but you can't go in there because you feel like genuine anxiety. I remember there was times where I felt anxiety about going to the masjid, like genuine, like you don't even want to be there, sort of thing, because you feel like
it's scary.
Like it's like your relationship with God is it's not even that. It's like your relationship with God is like it's sorted, it's calm, it's relaxed, and that's why you felt like you wanted to go to the masjid and like whatever. But it's the people that are in the masjid that make it problematic. Like there was times where for the longest time I could never walk into a masjid with jeans, even if I had like a long top down to my knees, or like I was wearing something that was modest. Yeah, I'll be shook because I'm like, I can't even go to the masjid to go pray, even though I know there's clothes there that I can wear to pray. I can't even go in because I feel like there'll be so much judgment. Do you get it? Like
this is why I don't understand the rule that when you're in a mosque you have to wear hijab. As in when you're in a mosque.
Well, we know you don't understand that.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
Why? Go on. I don't get it.
No, but I genuinely don't understand the rule behind it, because like I understand being in the mosque and showing respect and stuff, but to go in, to expect people to come in already wearing the garments of a Muslim is denying other people the access to it. So I can be not well dressed, but I still want to come and learn how to dress properly. And because I'm not wearing what they expect me to wear, they kind of like close doors before you even entered, if that makes sense.
Shambak, go on, say your piece.
I'm not speaking about religion to Sana.
No, do it.
What?
No, it's not happening.
No, go on.
I feel like Sana, deep it, yeah. If there was someone that was maybe like if it was like a non-Muslim, yeah, and it was a woman, and she was like, I just want to see what's inside, and they were like, oh, you have to cover your hair, and she goes, I don't have anything to cover, I don't feel comfortable to cover, but I want to know what you guys do. Personally, I can't imagine them being like, nah, you can't come in unless you wear a hijab.
No, I think they would say, here's a scarf,
yeah,
put it on your head loosely, and step inside.
But what is just like, I don't feel comfortable to wear a hijab, but I still want to know more about your religion. Do you think that they would still be like, nah?
I think so. And that's what I was trying to say. Yeah, and that's what I was trying to say. Like, you shouldn't cut people off right at the start just because they're not wearing
I agree.
what you want them to wear. Yeah, and eventually they might convert and they might wear double burqas and shit. Just, do you know what I mean?
Bro, I've been Muslim for 26 years. Allegedly. I've been... No.
Can we genuinely speak about this? Yeah, genuinely. Reem, Sana, really, really quick, yeah?
Yeah.
How sure are you, yeah, that your dad read the adhan in your ear when you were a baby? How sure are you?
Sana blatantly had it.
Did your dad read the adhan in your ear and when you were first born, and are you sure it happened?
I would hope so.
Exactly.
I
think I became Muslim last year.
Definitely. I know. When I asked my mum, because me and Shamak were having a conversation about this a while ago, yeah, talking about how converts, you know, like are welcomed and looked after in the community, which we should hope.
Converts
so.
are like influencers.
No, like right.
Reverts are like influencers, like everyday free shit. Done that here. Where's my trip to Hajj? Where's my Hajj tickets, man? Where's that?
No's gonna be listening to this and be like, "Raw."
Sorry, I'm bare rolling around everyone.
So, and it's true because in some aspects it's a really not in some aspects it is a beautiful thing to have people come to Islam and stuff, and we should be looking after them, but like we're not looking after our own. And then somehow I was like, hold on, I don't even remember.
You sound like you vote for Brexit. You're literally like, we should be looking after our own and close the borders.
No, as in born into Islam Muslims. Why is she bare wheezing?
You're bare deep.
What?
We should be looking after our own first.
No, I never said first.
But I
as well. Okay.
I never said first. What? Definitely not first.
No,
I'm just saying we should be
what,
looking
you're saying everyone should get free Hajj trips, yeah?
No, but I'm just saying, like,
I feel like could you imagine? Yeah, could you imagine if the Masjid put as much energy that they do into converts, yeah, into maybe young Muslim boys that have just come out of prison? Could you imagine? Could you imagine them being taken in?
More time it's synonymous.
But could you imagine if they're like taken in to by like a band of brothers, yeah, and they're like proper like making them feel like they're a family because Reem, maybe you speak about it, yeah, but like more time whenever you see boys that join gangs and get into like nonsense, it's because they feel like they've got a home, right? Like someone's genuinely got their back. Whereas when they look at the community, the Muslim community, it's more like judgment, right? So they know they've not got my back for shit, right? So you go where you're most comfortable because you're human, and that's how we do. That's how we are. So if they come out of prisons, yeah, and the first people that have got their arms open wide for them are the same gangs that got them inside a prison. Then we're failing as a community, 100%. Let them go on Hajj, fam, as well. Like, put a little bit of energy.
But my point is, yeah, it is them lot, but it's also the people that are going unrecognised. You know, like, when you're in school and then you're in a classroom and there's 3 naughty kids and there's a lot going on for those naughty kids and teachers put all the attention in the naughty kids and the good ones go unnoticed, but they might be dealing with possibly, not always, very unlikely, but possibly more than all 3 of those kids together. Yeah, it's about putting energy into people that are there. I'm just saying it should all be balanced out, but the point of the whole shahada thing, yeah, is because I started thinking, because the story my mum told me about when I was born, my dad wasn't really there at the time. He was at my uncle's house with my brother, so I thought, who did this? And she was under general anaesthetic.
Bad.
So I know a nurse in St Mary's certainly didn't do it for me.
Can you imagine?
So I went,
take this baby, Laura, and just do a quick adan. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. So basically, I went to my mum and I asked her, and she goes, "Yeah, I think so. I'm sure I remember your dad being there." She goes, "Oh no, that was your brother." And then I never heard any more about it.
If you haven't had that done, that means technically you're not a Muslim, right?
Right, so I was saying basically I'm a revert.
There you go.
So where's my freestyle?
Where's my utter? Where's my miswak?
My miswak.
Where's my throb?
I'm done. Anyway, that was just...
No, but for real, because even my dad wasn't there when I was born.
Yeah.
So I did, and obviously they forget. They're not gonna be like, oh, by the way, 3 weeks later,
I need to
do that dancing. Like,
when you're a toddler.
Nah, of course not. I'm sure I became Muslim when I started going to like Quran classes, innit? When I was about 7 or 8. You know them ones?
Oh man,
long. Sana, but you definitely got it, didn't
definitely,
you?
I know it.
I have no idea, wallah. I've never.
Yeah, because you can't confirm it because you were like an hour old. How can you confirm it?
No, as in I've never asked my parents about that.
Yeah, you need to ask.
Do some research
and just
and
please
explore.
Say your shahada real quick because you never you never know.
She actually did it.
I'm so done.
Anyway, so yeah, man, just proper hit me that day.
Mad. Do you know what I want to talk about? So in the group chat, we touched on it very briefly, and I feel like Reem was about to go on a mad one. So we were talking about how I got told the other day, yeah, apparently there was like gangs in Somaliland, gangs in Camden.
Why are you wheezing?
Always reason.
Every day.
I got told there was Somali gangs in Camden.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
What's happening? Oh yeah, go on.
Somali gangs in Camden. Apparently, they allegedly like killed some boy, right? And the boy happened to be like black or what was he? African or Caribbean, yeah. So they were like, we're gonna come after any Somali that we see in the area, yeah, either today or tomorrow. So there was like a massive voice note that was sent out to like lots of people within the Somali community, being like, lock up your kids, B, because they're out looking for revenge, right?
When did this happen?
So This was like a couple days ago. This was a couple days ago. It was in the group chat. You were participating.
You were fully part of it.
Yeah, but I didn't know when it happened.
So yeah, so Reem was about to go off on one. I don't know I think we were talking about the whole revenge thing, like, because they were like how anyone can get it, brothers, cousins, sisters, uncles, aunties, anyone. Or
was I about to go off?
You were about to go off on something, and then you were like, and I was like, listen, save it for the group chat. Save it for the podcast.
Oh, what was it?
You were saying that it's unlikely for them to harm anyone that isn't part of the gang culture.
In terms of family members, I think, yeah, possibly. Because that's obviously a actual... sorry, one sec.
I think you were going to mention something about them.
I know what I was going to start talking about. Okay, just one sec. So basically, in my opinion, and I don't know about this, like, I'm not certain in it, but in my opinion, it's a matter of they will find somebody that you care about and do something to them, right? So, for instance, if there's a let's say there's a kid and he's got a brother, they might go after a brother. But in terms of a random civilian, just a Somali, like any auntie shopping down the high road, I personally don't think there's that risk. Like Shambak, I don't think there's that risk. They'll just be like, whatever. But if that was a sibling of yours, then it would be a different story. Worried. She's shook. She's just trying to find out.
When do I go to Camden? That's number one. Of course I'm not sure. Come on.
Well, first of all, you weren't sure whether it was
Camden or Brixton.
Yeah.
See? I don't know, because I don't go to them ends, so I'm not involved.
Anyway, but my thing was, there was somebody on Twitter who posted this, and again, it was somebody who, I don't know exactly what. He looked like one of them brothers, like a brother.
Sorry, can you say that again? Because I think I just messed it up for you, sorry.
What, that he looked like a brother?
No.
Somebody
posted it on Twitter. Yeah, sorry.
Some guy posted it on Twitter, which is good. It's always good to spread awareness and stuff. But then I saw the same person talking about this and then having some discussions about, in my opinion, very mediocre things. And I was just talking about how these guys and it goes back to the same thing I was saying about shuyukh, really, especially when we're talking about Somali guys in particular, or any like of the Muslim guys that are involved in this stuff. Like, really, we should be holding on to. Actually, it's not just about Muslims. It's any young person. We should be holding on to all young people in any way. This is not related to Islam, right? But if you have a following, or if you are a community leader and you are Muslim and you're reaching out to Muslim young people, then you need to be doing it in a way where you're actually reaching them. Like, teaching young people is one thing. Listening to them is another, right? And so, and I always use this example because a good friend of mine works in a prison up north, in a young offenders up north. And the way he is, and you hear all the guys all the boys I used to work with that would come from his prison would always have the best things to say about him. They, like, some of them were Muslim and some of them were not. That speaks volumes for non-Muslim young people.
What was he doing that local leaders are not doing?
He was listening and he was understanding and he was making sure there was no judgment, there was no pressure. Yeah. Same time, I was working with some of the shuyukh where I was, and they were lovely and they had their intentions and it was pure, and they were giving knowledge and they were saying, okay, memorize this surah. And okay, that's really, it's an important part of being Muslim. It is important that you go, say you've gone into prison or whatever, and you've decided that you want to better yourself and seek knowledge. I think that's brilliant, but it should be done in a more in-depth way. Whereas this other guy from the up north place was given he was working from like six different angles at the same time, so that surah would be getting memorized as well as him getting an understanding of family and communicating with them regularly. The guy would make so much time for everyone's mums and dads and siblings, and then he would go out of his way in his free time to spend time with lots of them. When they were out, it would be going to gym with some of them, taking them places, meeting them for coffee. And it was just that bit of taking it to a different level. It was like an older brother / teacher / sheikh, like different level. And every single person that I met that had worked with him had amazing things to say about him. One of the guys that I worked with, we used to write to him every single month. And that's long. Like, I know it doesn't sound like a big deal, but that's long. Like, you have got to go out your way and actually write a letter to someone, but he would just, even if it was a few paragraphs, and it would just be like, hey, like he would fully tell him he missed him.
Aww.
For a young man to say that and know that for the next 20 years he's in prison, and that this guy has taught him as much as he did, because the boy told me, he said, I haven't, you know, like I didn't really know much until I met him. So he opened their eyes to Islam and stuff, but he did it in such a gentle way that there was no kind of, it was no coercion or anything like that. It was just something so beautiful. And I think if we got so many men or women or whoever, leaders like that, things would look so different. Because imagine working with people and actually listening to what they're saying and hearing them, and them feeling like they're talking to be heard and not just to be like, to just as a tick box exercise. Oh, it's different.
It's like listening to actually understand what someone's saying
100%.
rather than listening to just respond to what someone's saying.
Exactly. And so that's what he did, and that's why I'll always rate him. And he was never concerned about the mediocre things. He would never, not mediocre, but like, you know how we were saying the hijab stuff. Like he never ever treated me, for instance, differently to someone that would wear a hijab. This is a guy that has done all of his Islamic studies, everything. He would have never, like all of the people he worked with, non-Muslim, Muslim, he treated every single person with the same respect, everybody. And I know that's hard, like, as in, I'm not saying that everyone's got the same level of patience and knowledge and understanding as him, but if those are the people that we're getting to work with young people like this and to reach out to young people like this, things will just look different. In my humble opinion, instead of somebody who's posting, trying to talk about if you're, you know, having a thick beard or a thin beard, bruv, or people are going to sign out.
Or even just people that like to pretend or like to, you know, push this image of them being like a social activist online, but when it comes to real life, they've never even stepped foot in their community centre. Like, they don't really care. Like, everyone, all these people are doing up, oh, R.I.P. Nipsey Hussle, blah, 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 the rest of it, rest in peace. And like, he did so much for his community, and he died too young, blah, blah, blah. What are you doing?
Yeah, take inspiration.
Come with that energy. Come with that energy offline. What are you doing? Nothing. Like, it's all right to just be like, oh yeah, you know, he was doing bits, blah, 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 and to be seen and like to talk about something because it's relevant at the time. But what are you doing when the Wi-Fi is switched off?
Deep. It is true though. People, I think, and I think this happens all the time, and even I get caught up in it. Like these guys know social media is not my thing.
We've had 20 followers on Instagram.
I have the most low-key Instagram, and I've chosen that. And even before, I used to delete my Instagram all the time because I would just find shit overwhelming. Like I would actually find it overwhelming, and it is that thing. It's like if you're not showing what you do online, you're not doing anything. Like I'm sure people genuinely think that I don't, like, I've never worked a day in my life, like because they don't see it. And it's so interesting because even, like I said, even I fall into that. Like when I go on someone's Instagram profile, can't even speak, and I see that they've got, you know, how many 100,000 followers, I'm like, oh, well, they must be doing something interesting and right. And it's like, maybe not.
Maybe they're just at Ellen Cafe.
Like every day.
CV Asha, like, what? I feel personally attacked.
No, wallah, you know what I mean though? Like, and then there are some people that are doing bits and none of it is getting reported. And it really shouldn't be, because that's not what it's about, is it? Like, we don't do things for us to get noticed and recognized, but it's just interesting that even I fall into that, where saying it as in someone who's not on social media, think, oh, okay, well, they must be important then.
They must be important.
Like, you know.
Yeah, I've said this bare times, like, people don't actually rate who you are and what you do, they just rate your following.
100%. I concur.
Sana's got a poetry book out, you should buy it, it's deep. It's a little bit of promo.
Retweet.
Yeah, share it. Buy it for a birthday present.
Reem is a G.
But have some tissues.
For the next half an hour, we're gonna talk about why Reem is a G.
Yeah, and if you want to keep up with other stuff that we're doing as well, we'll post the link on our Instagram as well for Sana's book. You can find us at £3.30.com.
Instagram at £3.30.
Yeah, it'll be in the description box. Hey, come on. But yeah, follow us on Instagram. So far we have Instagram, and we'll post stuff on there, keep up to date. So that's probably the best place to head over to find out if we've got a new podcast out. But also you can follow me on Asha every day. on Instagram.
At Asha.
Hit up Sana on Sana Stino with 2 eyes.
And don't talk about me.
Reem is just at here, B. But yeah, it's been beautiful, guys. Have a good one. Peace.